G'day viewers, welcome to another super helpful repair video from the Goat Shed, located in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Now today is Monday, August 7th, 2023. It's 12 degrees Celsius outside, which is approximately 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And today we're going to be working on Gottlieb's target pool. Pro football. Here we go. So many machines in here. Now, Pro football was made in January 1973. And according to the IPDB, there was 4,500 made. And it was an Ed Krinsky design and with Gordon Morrison artwork. Together these two produced a lot of classic type pinball games from Gottlieb in the day. And we see a lot of early to mid-70s games here. Now, being a wedge head, of course, only normally one set of score rails to deal with, but this being a football game has that extra set in it. Now, you're looking here at the whole unit out of the game. The back box mech, we take them out. We've probably reiterated that before, and for very good reason. Because the very first thing we're doing is we're having a look at the ball count unit over here, which is located here. And this one is totally seized. Now, you really normally don't get them quite as bad as this. So I've already desoldered the wires for the reset and for the add ball. Let's just swing this back and we'll operate the plunger here. It all moves nicely in that direction, but when you go to press the reset arm, that is jammed tight. That's jammed dead set tight. Now, most likely what the problem will be, it will be seized here on the pivot point, which I'm going to try and show you. I'll take these pins out and it'll make it a little bit easier so we can have a little look at it. Excellent. So this pivot screw, it'll be seized on that. Because if you look at it carefully, up and down, that's all driving fine. But when you go to push this in, that should push in and come back under spring tension. It's just totally seized. Now, there's only one way to fix this. I've seen a lot of people, or hear of a lot of people, there's a nut on the back of here. On the back of this screw there's a nut. If you don't loosen that nut, you will break the screw off. They can get broken. I had a pretty good track record up until recently. I broke one. And it was my own fault. I was impatient and I wasn't prepared to wait till the next day. I should have let it soak. I soaked them in penetrating oil and WD-40. But a lot of people just loosen the nut and undo the screw and think that that's going to fix it. But when we take that off, there'll be all white grease behind there. That's why we at the Goat Shed like to pull these right apart. We feel it's a very, very necessary thing to do. And once we've done this, we'll never see a fault on one of these again. It just won't happen. They'll be rock solid for another, hopefully, 40 years. And this is all we can wish, is that these electromechanical games last a lot longer for future generations to enjoy. We did a live broadcast earlier today and we mentioned we're going to be running another training course here in the Goat Shed on the 30th of September, so not all that far away, almost just under 8 weeks away, I think that is. And we only advertise that, I think, when did I do that? Friday or Saturday? Friday, I think it was. And we already had 5 people automatically sign up for the course. And we're going to take 6 this time in our new facility on the deck. So I'm sure someone else will sign up between now and then. Okay, so what we need to do now is pull the rest of this apart, and this is difficult. We've done videos on this before, but we also have noticed that the replay unit is not working properly. It's totally it's not stepping correctly, and when you do reset it, it's actually resetting the well, you can't push the plunger in either on that, so it's got the same problem. So it's seized as well. And like I said, that white grease was used very much so during the that period of time in my observations. So I'm not going to go through and show you how we pull a step unit apart. You need to look at our previous videos for that. But what we really want to illustrate is what we get up to and what we do here, and how we do it, and why we do it. Now, each of the score reels will need to come out. We'll check them, we'll put new coil sleeves in, we'll carefully inspect the coil stops, because you can get really loud score reels. They almost make a buzzing noise like a flipper if the coil stops are bad. And of course we've got the ones for the scoring on the football side of things, the goals. They'll need to be checked. And we've actually found a little mod on one of the relays that someone's done. I'd say a wire got broken off in the loom, and rather than try and dig it out, they've just run a new one, which, okay, that's fine. And you can just maybe see, I'm not sure if you can, a wire. I'm pretty sure this is an original, this one here. It's a purpley coloured wire. You may not have been able to see that. So, first thing I'm going to do now is pull this stepper apart. We've pretty well appraised the machine. Oh, and this also has a what they call a J relay, which is a FSAS type relay, and of course they're modular, so we can pull that out. Might even do that now. You won't be able to see what I'm doing, it'll be out of shot, but I'm simply pulling out the Jones plugs for that relay. A bit tight. And there we go, I've got that relay. There it is. Looks fairly clean. Let's see how it operates, shall we? I'll try and hold it up here with my... It's not too bad. A little bit out of focus there, I think. No, it is sticking. Yeah, you never get away with them, so they've always got to be pulled apart. And once again, we've done a whole video on how to pull them apart and rebuild them. There is one thing that we probably need to do, is do an addendum to that video, because I don't think I explained to people how to fix the or what we do with the butterflies on the contact points. We just widen them apart where they fit into the plastic hub so that it doesn't wriggle round too much. So what have we got in the back box here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ordinary relays, 5 AG relays. We have an N, an M, a L and a K, and an F relay in the back here. Alright, and we've got a relay up the top of the back box too, a Z relay. Not quite sure what that does. We do have schematics for this game, and they're a horrible green colour. I don't know why they did that, printed them out in green, but we'll do that. So Spanky's very keen to pull this ball stepper apart. He's just been out there preheating the ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll give that the treatment, and it should be all ready to go back together tomorrow morning. So we'll keep you updated on what we do with this game. Nothing different than what we normally do, but we'll include this as also as part of a troubleshooting video for the future. So this ball count unit was a particularly problematic one with that shoulder screw here being really tight, as we illustrated earlier in the video. Now it's perfect. It's all operating lovely under its own weight, no spring tension, no sideways play in it. It's quite good. So what I had to do, that nut on the back of it, that's the thing that's the problem. Now some of them, they come off really easy. I've noticed the earlier 60s ones come off easier than the 70s ones. What I did, I had to put some penetrating oil down there last night. I cleaned it with Kero as best I could. Penetrating oil, I came in this morning, it still wasn't any good. Dried it off, cleaned it out again, and got some more Kero down there, and it got a little bit looser. So the way or the process I use is this. I get it like this. Going to be a little bit awkward, but we'll show you. Let's get it over here. I get the 5/16 inch spanner on the back there, and I get it, and then you hold your screwdriver in there, and then you rock them both ways. Rock them either way, bit by bit, bit by bit. You'll then feel it give a little bit. Don't exert too much pressure on the nut driver. You will break it. Right, I actually thought I was going to break this one, but I was patient, so spin it this way, spin it anti-clockwise, spin the screwdriver clockwise, just rock it off very, very slowly, and it will come off. Now, like I said, that's always a problem with these. Some come off really easy, some don't. And I don't like breaking those. I mean, we do have stock of these. A1059, I think, is the part number of that shoulder screw. But a drop of oil I put on before I tightened it up on the shoulder of the screw itself, and I always oil the thread again. And I put it in from the other side. In other words, I screw the screw in from this side, then turn it from this side, then turn it over and put it on the other side. Now, if that little tip helps you in any way, shape or form, that's great, because definitely that is problematic. And that's one of the worst ones we've seen. Now, also, while you've got the frame out, we've got to put this all back together. But I always like to get the screwdriver in there, lightly lean on it, and make sure those screws aren't loose. If I put a little bit of weight on that and that moves, that screw's loose. Same with that one. There's no problem there. So that's good to go. Now, the only other thing that I do, and as I said, I've done all this before, but I'm going to show you again. I like to get, so there's the drive arm with the pawl. Now, some of these pawls, we did show you a video where a 60s game, this pawl had an enormous amount of sideways and up and down play. We did that, I think, in our second last live video. I always get a drop of oil. This is machine oil we use, like sewing machine oil. I've got it in this little feeder type tube. Drop some down there, and also drop a bit down the back. Now, when that came out of the ultrasonic cleaner, it looks nice and clean, but it was still a bit sticky. So now that's really nice. Okay, that's fine. That'll work great. The only other thing I've noticed on this is that this is the bit that goes under here. Hold it out like that, and then the screw goes through there. But this is a detent or a spring-loaded lock. Just getting that in the right position. Bring it over there like that. It was the wrong way round. And see, it's a little bit worn here. So I'm going to get the Dremel and give that a bit of a clean down. And that'll fix that. I just damaged that spring a little bit then. I might replace that. That was my fault. I'm trying to show you good people what to do, and I did the wrong thing. But yeah, I just Dremel those down. Now I call that a detent. That's a spring-loaded lock. That's the thing that holds the drive, the reset in place, reset arm in place before it makes its first step. So I'll put this stepper back together now, and Spanky will keep an eye on me, and we'll show you the end result and just have a look at that and see what happens. Yeah, so rightio. So the ball count stepper is all reassembled. It's obviously not been fitted back into the mech yet, but on inspection I just noticed that there are 2 adjustments that need doing. Now, one of them is to do, well, they're both to do really with the same thing. You've got the, I'm going to try and show you this. I'm hoping I can get it right. See here, the bracket that's sort of run off the edge. You shouldn't be able to see that there like that. That's not right. So we're going to loosen the 2 screws here and just lightly tap that over. Now remember, these go up 1.5 teeth, and that is the case on this step unit. It is going up and a half teeth. That's perfect, and I've got that straight up in the air. But the other problem I noticed, and you could probably see this without looking too hard, I've got it there. That drive arm up stop, that should be resting on that. There's a bit of a gap there. I don't know, you can see it. It's just not quite right, so I'm going to loosen those 2 screws down and adjust that. Now also a little tip while you're working on these, I always put that bearing back on the back while I'm working on them, otherwise the shaft moves in and out and you get into all sorts of trouble. So that stops the escapement wheel from moving in and out. Alright, so I'm going to adjust that now, but I'm very happy with this. Spanky said he's very, very happy with it, and it works. But we're just going to do those 2 little adjustments. There's what that detent does. You watch, that detent will come over. I'll reset that and the detent locks up. So what it actually does, the reset arm is held back. The reset arm is held back. This is the reset arm. You need to watch our other videos to learn all about this generally, but I just thought I'd cover it. The reset arm, if I hold that down, the reset arm can move in and out. Like that, but once that's up and latched in, it can't. Okay, so I'll just adjust that, and that should be then a good stepper. We have to put it back in the game and clean the rivet plate and fit it back, the wiper arm back onto the rear of it, and away we go. Now, just while I'm talking to you, Graham just mentioned to me a minute ago that he had a look at the live video we did, which is on yesterday, which is on our YouTube page. But apparently, because we had very, very poor signal, it was dropping in and out, and we did get an actual dropout. So we're sorry about that. I'll have a look at. I haven't reviewed that video online. I might have a look at that, and we might have to take that off if it's too bad. But we've now just this morning had one of those mesh internet things set up, and we've got one in one of the back rooms of the house, and now we've got Wi-Fi down here, so that should make life a little bit easier. So just finishing off, I've now adjusted that coil casing to make it more perpendicular to the side. Probably can sort of see it there. You could see how that was twisted over before. And I've adjusted I call it a drive arm up stop. It's a drive arm stop because the drive arm goes up and it stops. And what I do, I've illustrated this before, but I'll show you again. I use a piece of paper. So hit that up and just get a little bit of light drag on the paper. Might take you a couple of goes, but that means it's pretty well right. Because what happens over the years with those is that as that's going thump, thump, thump into the coil stop, the coil stop starts to wear down a little bit, so does the plunger, therefore that increases the travel, and these go up and they end up breaking off there. We see so many of them. I'll repeat that. The part number is A for Apple 256, A256. That's the part number. I think we try and order about 10 or so of them at a time and keep them here. All right, well, once again, apologies for the poor reception yesterday. We've now got that fixed, as I mentioned. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to hit that bell to get updates and let you know when we've made a new video. But we thought this was well worth sharing about that troublesome shoulder screw, and we hope that everybody learnt something out of it. I don't think there'd be a pinball mechanic that's never broken one, if they were honest. So, yes. Spanky thinks they're troublesome also. And probably some of you hadn't really noticed, I'm working on the new bench out the back here, which makes it easier. Graham's inside doing some finishing with target pool on that playfield swap, and I'm onto this pro football. So once again, thanks very much for watching, and this has been another Go Shared presentation.